Thank you all. This concludes the ICANN meeting in Buenos Aires in 2013.
Only after the conclusion of ICANN 48 and after most of its participants had departed Buenos Aires did the 2014 Nominating Committee begin its work. 2 days, in fact, of organizing for the year ahead, planning for the important decisions it will make.
I hope you feel that you know a little bit more about the people you're going to be working with.
Like other ICANN committees, the NomCom consists of dedicated volunteers committed to preserving the multi-stakeholder model. But unlike those other committees, the NomCom does not focus on particular policy issues. Instead, its mandate is to ensure ICANN projects a broad range of interests, opinions, and fresh ideas by nominating and approving individuals to serve in the leadership of some select committees.
In this coming 2014 Nominating Committee, we're looking to put in leadership roles, 2 positions for the ICANN board, 1 position going to the GNSO, 1 position to go to the CCNSO, and 2 positions to go to the At-Large Advisory Committee. But they're geographically based, so we're looking for leaders to come from the North American region and also out of Europe.
On the eve of the NomCom's organizational meeting in Buenos Aires, the outgoing, the incoming, and the future chairs of the NomCom sat down to answer a few questions about the committee's function. For instance, why is there a separate ICANN committee for nominations?
ICANN has no members, ICANN has no shareholders. So it means that there is no mechanism for electing the leaders like there are in associations or companies. And that's why there's a nominating committee which is composed of people from all constituencies and shareholder groups, and is like a democratic element in this setup to select the leaders, select 8 board members, select people to the CCNSO Council, GNSO Council, and the At-Large Committee.
How is the NomCom structured?
We're the leadership team. We're actually all about the process and management of what happens in the nominating committee. But the nominating committee are groups that are appointed by the ICANN community, and it's their deliberations and it's their hard work which will go through the sifting and sorting and selection.
Doesn't the membership of the GNSO, for example, elect its own council leadership?
They do to some extent. The GNSO Council is an elected body of the groups that compose the GNSO, but there are positions in there for NomCom appointees. The reason for that, and it's something that ICANN is very fortunate to have, is that in this governance mechanism, we also want to bring outside blood, new people with different expertise, different points of view, and different ways of thinking into this mix, into this process, so that the process itself gains by being more diverse and more multi-stakeholder.
What skills and qualifications are you looking for in a candidate?
Leaders, thought leaders, people who have an interest in the domain name system and internet governance, but also people who have leadership skills, experience outside of the rather insular world of ICANN and its naming and numbering. We have a very narrow focus, and we, as Stefan was saying, need to bring in independent thinking, other views, but particularly leadership, management and governance experience.
At what stage is the NomCom in its selection of candidates?
This is the time for outreach and recruitment. So first of all, at some point in a pretty near future, we put out an announcement about these new positions, and then the outreach, by all possible means at the various meetings where our members go, but also trying to reach out outside the usual suspects of the ICANN and internet governance circles, so that and this is actually, this phase is the foundation of everything, because without a good candidate pool we can't do much.
We can only appoint in any given year from the group of people that put in their applications. And each year, many more applicants come in for a NomCom's deliberations and decision than can ever be appointed. And what we want to do is also encourage people who have applied before, who may have not got through or been successful in their candidature, to really have another go, because every year the criteria shifts slightly. So you may be a round peg in a square hole, as Yurio often says, one year, but be a perfect fit the next. So we're very keen to have recommendations, and we will follow up on those recommendations and reach out to people, or have people put their own names in. But think beyond ICANN as well as from within ourselves.
And how has NomCom improved the transparency of its work?
The NomCom has this reputation, or had at least, for being a black box. And, like cardinals electing the Pope. You meet in total seclusion, and then the white smoke comes out, and we have a Pope. Now we have tried to counter that, not only the image, but actually the actual what happens. That is to say, when we had our kickoff meeting a year ago in Toronto, we decided that we tried to strike a new balance between the requirements for confidentiality, which are important and actually absolute for us, but at the same time we can open the processes. So basically we decided that the process should be open and the data, meaning names of the candidates, should be secret.
Coming into the NomCom, I was a bit wary of the process, through misinformation more than anything. The GNSO is a very much a hands-on policy development body which is at the heart of the ICANN process from an everyday standpoint. So the GNSO is plugged into what ICANN does every day, and so much more now that we're launching new GTLDs, obviously. The NomCom may seem at first to be a bit more stratospheric in that it's a bit more removed from the everyday business. I've now since been on the NomCom for the past year, learned that it's actually at the core of what ICANN does and what it should be about. And that is to make sure that this community has leaders that cover all walks of life. So we're not just talking about people that know ICANN and are from the inside. We are also talking about people that may not know ICANN but may have expertise that the group lacks.
For more on the nominating committee and its processes, visit the NomCom page at ICANN.org.